Good morning, Reese Spring community. My name is Cody Hirschi. I'm the new superintendent here at Reese Spring, and this is going to be a new tradition that we'll set forth each month after each board meeting. I will give a post-board meeting update. I think it's really important to be transparent and try to ensure that we're really communicating what's going on in the district. So it's going to be a little bit longer video. I'll be referring to some of my notes here. So just look forward to being able to share some of the great highlights and things that are going on in the school district. Last night, we had our tax rate hearing. Each year, the board is required to set a new tax rate to be levied in the district. Our tax rate is based off of our assessed valuation. So our assessed valuation went from 391 million last year to 408 million in our area, in our county this year. So we have a wonderful tax base. In our tax rate, the board approved my recommendation, and just so you know how that works is there's some calculations that you have to do, and then you send all that information to the state auditor to make sure that we're in compliance or we're not exceeding what's been approved by the voters. And so our tax rate is really pretty much the same as last year. Last year we levied $3.7752, and this year we are levying $3.7753. So very minimal changes. We're fortunate to be able to keep that rate steady for you this year, and we look forward to moving on. Moving kind of through the agenda, I want to welcome a few new staff members that were approved by the board last night. Greg Ryder is a new bus driver, and Stephen Davenport, we look forward to getting to know them and we're having them serve with us. Amy Chaplin, I've had an opportunity already to sit down with Amy and get to know her. She's a new para at the primary. And then Daniel Parsons is a new custodian at the middle school. Grateful to have them on our team. Moving on through, we've had just such a phenomenal start. I'm not going to go through every single item on the board agenda. We'll be here for a couple hours. But one of the things that I updated the board on last night was my entry plan. Since December, I've been transitioning through the district, and now that I'm officially on board, we're going full speed. So some of the things that have been done, as you may have heard, we have kicked off a new slogan, a new motto for the district for this year, new theme, and that's one with the pack. I think one of the most important things that's on our minds as a staff, as an administrative team, and as a Board of Education is unifying the district. And so our goal is to, while we're 6 individual buildings working to serve kids, we're really one district. And so it's an opportunity for us to turn over a new leaf. And so we really feel strongly that this theme with one with the pack communicates a unity among the district. And so we're excited about that. You'll see that that hashtag or that slogan used in a variety of social media posts and throughout the district. So that's what that's about. We're excited about the start. The start of the school year has been phenomenal. I have never been so impressed with quality people. The staff we have here, I knew and I had heard that we have a unique community, a unique group here, but that has just been magnified as I've been in the district and been able to see the work that's been going on. So some of the things that I'm engaged in as part of my entry plan, I'm meeting with every single employee in the district. That's going to take some time, but I've been dedicating time each day to do that. It's been a phenomenal opportunity right now, and my attention and most of those one-on-one meetings are at the primary. What a great building, what a great staff. And so that's been good. Starting Monday, I'll begin writing bus routes. My goal is to write every single bus in the district and go on every single route. I feel like I can't serve a community that I don't know. I can't serve students that I don't know and know where they're coming from. So we'll be doing that on Monday. So if you see me out on the routes, that's what's going on. Just want to make sure I'm learning as much as possible. I'm also reaching out to various community organizations. Ben Fisher, our PR employee, rep, he is phenomenal. He's created a schedule for me to be able to go and connect with various groups. I've met with the Rotary, the Lions Club, Table Rock Chamber of Commerce, Branson Chamber of Commerce, the Senior Center, Masonic Lodge, the CEA. If there's an organization and we're not reaching out that we're not aware of or we need to be tapped into, please let us know. You can contact myself or our office or Ben Fisher, and we'll love to get that scheduled. I feel like it's really important that we unite the school district's efforts with our community efforts to become one team. One of the things I want to just quickly announce too, we have a wonderful blessing offered through as kind of a partnership with OTC. We are actually through a philanthropist who's donating money. They're really passionate about improving rural schools, smaller schools, college placement for rural school graduating seniors. And so they're dedicating a ton of money, millions of dollars throughout the country to support college and career readiness. And what that means for us is we are getting paid 100% salary, all benefits, everything paid, an embedded advisor here at the high school that will be able to work one-on-one with our students in developing goals and plans to help our students prepare for college. And so that's going to be a great support to our counseling department, our administrative staff, and our team who already works hard on those efforts. So right now we're just going to be wrapping up the interview process for that individual, and they'll be kicked off here in the next month. And then that grant that's being provided is a 3-year grant, and then after that, OTC is committed to continuing funding for that position. So there's really no downside. We're really super excited about what that means for our students. Just wanted to recognize our special ed department. We did a couple things last night. We approved the compliance plan. What that means is that we follow the Department of Education plan, which is aligned to federal and state statute. And we have received notification from the Department of Education that our review, we're reviewed in that department. We have received the highest rating. I want to give a shout out to Ms. Smith and the entire special ed department and para staff and everyone that works with our kids. We have a high reputation for how we serve these individuals, so just to really appreciate their work. The high school added a new course that was approved by the board. It's also along that college and career readiness class efforts. It's a scholarship and college preparation course, and so I think we have somewhere between 20 to 25 students that have enrolled in that class for this fall, and we look forward to hearing the progress of how students are working in that particular class. The board went over a review and adoption of our curriculum that was presented by Dr. Kite. We appreciate his and the instructional staff's efforts in that. I'm not going to go through the details. The board did adopt 3 new policies. They've reviewed it a couple months now. 2 of them are related to the medical marijuana statute that was passed in the state and how we're going to handle that at school. So if you want to see that, it's policy 2871 and policy 4870, and then we adopted a food service adjustment to policy 5550, which is just including a discrimination clause and no discrimination in the workplace clause for that. So one of the things we worked on in the board retreat, like I said, we've had a phenomenal start. Our Board of Education, I am so excited to work with them. They're just so passionate and driven. I feel like we're a united team already. We're really molding. I feel so much support from them. We, during the board retreat, talked about, I really wanted to talk about the importance of, one, being unified as a board, which we've done. We've created board norms. They are on the website, so you can see how the board's going to operate. Really important. But the other piece we talked about is my accountability. I feel it's really important that I continue to grow as a superintendent and that I am held accountable just like every other employee throughout the organization. So we developed a superintendent evaluation tool last night that was adopted by the board. It really highlights a few things. It highlights professionalism, that I need to act with integrity and I need to be held accountable to that. It highlights my relationships with board and am I serving their needs. It also targets my relationships with both internal and external stakeholders, that I'm really being a support to both of those groups and being connected. And then I have some autonomy to develop some individual plans for each year, individual goals. And this year my goals are directly related to my entry plan. So I'll be held accountable to the things that I've said that I'm going to do in that entry plan. And so really excited about that and looking forward to working with the board as they help me to continue to be a better superintendent. My goal is each month and each year I become better than I was before. The board did set a tuition rate last night. The tuition rate that was set was $11,037. It's down about $500 from last year. The board also approved a process for them, or reviewed a process for them to hold themselves accountable through a board evaluation tool that they're going to use quarterly, and we're going to have discussions about how the board's functioning and operating. Again, a great board who just wants to be really phenomenal with the work that they're doing. The next piece really was the last item. We talked about the budget. The board approved some amendments that were made in last year's budget and some revisions that were made in this year's budget. And just to kind of recap, just briefly, I know we're already getting some time set up on this meeting, on this post, but I think it's important. Locally, our local budget is about 72% of our revenues come from local funds. The rest of that comes from, so that's about $18 million. The rest of the monies that we receive come from the county, the state, and federal government. So the vast majority of our money, 70%, is all local revenue. So we spend that revenue, about 68% of our entire of all of our dollars go to pay for salary and benefits. That's where most of our money is spent. And that compares to about 63% in the state of Missouri. So we definitely have taken care of our people better than the state average. Purchase services, supplies, anytime we contract somebody out is about 18% of our budget. And then for the state, it's about 18%. So we're really aligned with the state. In terms of our debt, we've had some bond issues and things. We're about 12%, so that's what the state level is at. We're right around where the state average is on debt. And then our capital improvement projects, we're about 2% right now in this budget. We've made some changes, some cuts trimmed down the budget some this year, and so that's compared to about 7% in the state. And that doesn't mean that there aren't needs there. That budget actually probably isn't adequate. But right now we're really in a little bit of a situation in the district where our cash flow is a concern. We're really tight, and a lot of that has to do with some of the projects that have been done in the past. Really great things have happened in the school district, and I think we've been really good stewards of the district's finances. We've built the middle school and built the road and upgraded the facilities and the ball fields. Wonderful things for our students. We have top line technology. We have a lot of great things for our district, but the bond issue project ended up costing the district more than was anticipated, and so because of that, we're in a revenue shortfall. We are really tight on money. Actually, we talked last night a lot about fund balances and the importance of having some fund balances. And I operate a budget like I do my home. I think it's important to manage it that way, and so there are times when it's necessary to take out debt. We don't want to do that, be crazy with it, but we want to make sure we're strategic and we have a plan. We also want to make sure that we're building up our savings account for emergency situations. We like your home, we have things that break and bust and we have to repair, and if we don't have money saved up for that, then it can cause some problems. And then finally, we have unique needs here in the district, and what are those things that we're working towards to be effective? So we're really looked at that. Over the last 10 years, our reserves have we're really at the lowest point we've been with reserves since 2010. So 2010, we were about 25%. We were up a little bit higher the year after that, but then now we're at 17% reserves. And our concern is making sure that we can make payroll, that we can really make it from the summertime, through the summertime, all the way till January when our local tax money comes in. So we get that in January, and then we have to budget that out to December. And so right now there's some concern that we may not have enough money to get us there, that we things will be pretty tight. And so when that happens in a school district, often what school districts do is they take out what's called a tax anticipation note. They take out basically a loan to be able to ensure that they have enough money to be able to operate and pay people before January, that January disbursement. That's a practice that I don't want to really participate in, but we're watching that cash flow really tightly right now. And so this kind of led to an important conversation. As money's tight and we have projects that need to get done in the district because we have facilities that are outdated, some facilities that just by the nature of their age need maintenance. We have transportation and bus issues. We have programs that we want to expand, all those types of things. So how do we deal with that? Well, our plan, which I'm really excited about, is about strategic planning. I am an advocate for strategic planning, and so we talked last night about the importance of developing a strategy, and I really believe in three things. One, I believe in the power of strategic planning. I believe in the power of our community that I'm beginning to understand now, and I've also strongly believe in the power of our educational staff. Our team here is phenomenal. So I really feel like with a right focus and vision, we are going to be able to do phenomenal things at Reed Spring, and really looking forward to that work. And so last night I presented a plan to begin developing a strategic focus. And it's something that the district really needs. It's something that the district's hungry for. They're excited. Our staff and our administrative team, I have so many voices in my head right now about things that we want to do. And I think it's really important that not only are we financially, fiscally making good decisions and have a plan for that, but that we also are really aware of our employees and our staff and what they can't handle. And so what kind of stress load are we putting on our teachers and our employees? And so, we want to make sure we recruit and retain the best. And so if we're going to do that, we got to make sure that we're watching that pace. There's nothing more important we do in schools than serving kids. If we lose sight of our focus is on student achievement, everything we do from food service to custodial. It's all about serving our kids, and making sure they're academically strong. So the work that we'll be doing is we're going to be identifying our core beliefs, the parameters with which we're going to work. We're going to work on developing a vision that's directly tied to student learning. It can include other things, but the foundation part of our mission and all of our belief structures have to be centered on student achievement. We are going to work on identifying our key goals, again, directly related to learning. Everything we do in the district, from sports to foods, everything has to directly impact student learning. And then identify what strategies, and then we'll break those strategies and we'll have action teams and groups that will work towards that. So one of the things we'll be doing, we'll be hiring a facilitator to help us with this process. I'm going to require a 3-year commitment from the facilitator. Up front, that facilitator will be engaged pretty heavily this year, and then each year they'll come back on an annual basis to do an annual review, and I'll give a state of the district address to our community to update you on how the district's doing each year. And so in our strategy and our action teams will be involved in that. So I know a lot of excitement's in the district. I know people are excited. This is just a wonderful time period. We're gonna take our time developing the strategic plan. We're gonna take our time making sure we get it right. We don't have to rush it, but we are gonna jump in the process pretty soon so we can get the work going. I anticipate that if we begin early, end of September, October, begin that process, that we'll be able to finish by May. If we're not done, that's okay, because we're gonna make sure we spend a lot of time on developing our why of who we are, and then moving forward from there. I'm excited. I'm so excited about being here, part of the Wolves family. This is just a phenomenal opportunity. I really strongly feel like we have just so many things here together that really has the potential of making this district so good, the best district in the state. Between our community, our staff, our students are phenomenal, and being in the Lake community, there's just so many wonderful things for our families. So look forward to partnering with you. That was our board meeting. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm always interested in feedback. I look forward to another wonderful month and meeting many of you. Take care.